Good afternoon, good evening, traders. How's everybody today? It is just a minute or two after 8 p.m. Central Time here in the U.S. Asian session. Can you feel the excitement coming at you? Markets pretty mixed at the moment. Let's go in Seattle drama. Yo, Juan Pablo, nice to see you all. I have a little something to tell you all. I haven't taken a lot of trades the last couple days. I haven't really had the best solid setup. So what I have is this coming for you. Just to put it right at you here. We covered this the other day, this divergence play on the dollar yen that worked out well. I took this on both of my accounts, this one and the one that it was copied on, but also on my own side account that I trade on. And I took off half of my trade at the 100. You might remember we took this short way up here because we had this divergence. We had the rising price action, the declining MACD, the overbought stochastics. We sold it way up here at 114.24 with the goal to get price action to move down to the 50% fib retracement. And it did. Pulled the stops down. Price continued all the way through to the 100 level, which is the swing low, 113.61. I pulled my stops down. Pulled my stops down here and took off half my order on my other account. On this account, I did not take off any order, but you can see we came right back up near the stops here. If I zoom in a little bit, you can see the price action currently up about 37 pips. And on this trade, 576 bucks. Not too bad. Just straight up divergence play on the dollar yen. Little risky. Divergence, can be risky because you're sort of picking tops, but it's not something I do all the time, but it's something that I do when the markets aren't giving me any ideal entries. How's it going, Sungate? Hello, Supernova from Singapore. Nice to see you all here. If you're new to the trade room, I don't think many of you are brand new, but if you're new, generally the Asian session's a little more quiet, a little more reserved. Get more action out of the London and US sessions, of course. But I'm here to give you a little summary of what I'm watching. I posted a trade idea on silver. You can see this beautiful descending trend line here. All the way down. Very, very nice. Smooth line on silver. If we zoom in on the hourly, you can see that I got long here at the bottom, and I posted that. I didn't put a trade idea out, but I posted it in the room, and I think I covered it on the last stream as well. I'm not sure. I think I did. Yeah, I did. And I moved my stops up now. My stops were below this swing low here. I think they were at 1590. Pulled them up. And now that we finally had a decent little press up in silver, I decided to add a little bit of more order, sort of pyramid in or step in, and pulled my stop really nice and close. So if you did the math on my lot size here, which I don't encourage you to do, but it's not the most exciting thing for me to do either, but I do it, and generally have a good idea of what the numbers average out to be. The overall risk that I had on this first order with the stop down deeper is actually lower now with the stop up higher and including this second order. So that's where I'm at. And on the trade idea, I posted both 1620, 1636 or so as the second entry, and the stops for both are at 1616, 1617. So my targets are up here quite a ways, 1694, 1693. One of the reasons I use this target is if I shrink my chart down a little bit, we look left, we see the swing lows here, 1680s. But really no confluence with our fib levels. So what I wanted to do is see if we could get price back up before the 38.2 fib pullback, but just a little above this area of resistance, which puts us about 1693. So this is a really silver in the past when I made the most money trading silver. Let me just turn off this little Skype here. When I made the most money trading silver in the past, what I did was I pyramided in. So I had some bigger orders in the beginning. allergy season. Always sneezing on here, sorry. I pyramided in. I had the biggest order at the bottom. I bought it, added more, bought it, added more, and then I moved my stops up and also the targets. Now, it's not something you can do all the time, but it was one of my most profitable trades that I've had in a couple of years, buying silver in the past. And I think it was only about $1.50, maybe $1.40 move altogether. But it earned me a nice 5-figure profit. How's it going, Tim? Lucky777. So I don't want to bore you all too much because I know a lot of you don't trade silver. We also have this touch over here. If I pause my chart, we have this touch down here that was put in November at this same price area. So we'll see. If it comes down, we can always reassess and enter more later if we need to. But that's where I am in silver. Gold, we bounced off this price action here. I'll tell you what, let me put this on the daily so it's not cut off from my video. This is the line that we put up the other day. Price came right down to 12.17, 12.18. Currently bouncing here a little bit off of this area, this trend line of support. I'm mixed on gold. I don't have a strong opinion on gold either way right now. I'm more bullish on silver than gold, and I've been that way for a few days. Dollar index. I watched a few other analysts today and was reading through all my news, and it's just mixed, right? I mean, the gap filled, sitting at 99.53. We've been sitting roughly at this price point for just estimation about 53 hours now. I mean, the markets are pretty quiet, right? I mean, there's stuff going on. There's yen trades. We had the news. The New Zealand news, we had the big gap up in the Aussie New Zealand. We talked about that a little bit. We had that dovish news overnight out of the Bank of England that pulled the pound dollar down. I was talking about maybe getting long pound dollar, but I did not do it. Did not get long pound dollar. We had some discussion on the Canadian dollar. I'll tell you what, let me flip over to this real quickly because I think any good live stream has to at least touch on this stuff. Andrew, I didn't talk to Andrew today much. I typed with him a couple times on Skype. We were going to talk, and then I got busy, and then I think he was working on a video, I think, at the time. But dollar and euro are the strongest all the way across the board. Pound is right there. Aussie's there, teetering a little bit here early. New Zealand's the weakest currency. And if you look over to the right, this is the divergence from the 20 moving average for each of the currencies. And New Zealand's down low, but they're really consolidating. I mean, things are really starting to quiet out here. We see this big drop down in the pound when the BOE information came out. And, things are consolidating here. So there's just not a lot of action. Even the Euro CAD, I'm definitely bullish on the Euro CAD. I think getting long on the Euro CAD wouldn't be the worst idea around this price point. Let me pull this up all the way. We'll do this. So we're sitting right around the 23.6 fib. Let me get my chart back here for us. Get this software back. There we go. So we're sitting around the 23.6 on the Euro CAD. And I've been saying this for the last how many weeks now, that when the Canadian dollar pairs pull back, it's just another reason to get a better entry to go long. However, we're seeing the price of crude start to poke up a little bit, right? 47.84 currently. Would it be surprising to you to see the price of crude roll down from this point? I don't think so. I mean, good old technical analysis 101 would tell us that this trend line, if we just extend it out here a little bit, okay, you get an idea of where that is. If I shift my chart over, could see price pull up to this trend line and then push down here. If that did occur on the daily time frame, the move down would definitely weaken up the Canadian dollar and would push up our dollar CAD, euro CAD, pound CAD again. I know some of you are looking to get short pound CAD because the thing is so overextended. I don't have pound CAD on this screen, but I have it on my other. If you look at the pound CAD on a 4 hour, it's really starting to round down. We actually put in lower lows on the 4 hour time frame. I just don't like the strength of the Canadian dollar. I think it's still going to become one of the weakest currencies compared to the others. Euro dollar, sort of the same story as the DXY, right? What is the euro dollar? 57 point some percent, point some odd percent of the DXY. I mean, is the gap going to fill or not? You know, that's the question. Everybody I've been talking to is saying the gap's going to fill, but I mean, you can't get much more sideways than this. Just like the DXY, we got 50 some hours. Outside of the wicks, we got a 30 some pip range. You know, it's a push and pull. Equilibrium, right? Traders want to push it up stronger, push it up higher. Other traders want the gap to fill, push it down. Yeah. Let's see. How's it going? Bring stability. We'll take a look at Euro Aussie here. Yeah, right. Hobbit Yogi. Sungate got it there for you. XAG USD. Yeah, all you need to do is, I don't have my streaming software set up to show this, but if you go into the Market Watch window, Hobbit Yogi, go into Market Watch where you see all the currencies, right click, show all, and then you should see XAG USD, which is silver. Some of them list them as silver. Some brokers list gold as gold and others are XAU USD. Let's take a look at Euro Aussie, my favorite pair to trade, the one I haven't traded a lot lately. We had that one stop out. Remember that one yesterday? I'm sure you probably remember that one. That was a quickie. I think it was this spike right up here. We just, I think, spiked right up. So here's my take on it. I think the Aussie is a weaker currency than the euro right now. I like euro strength. I like pound strength even a little bit more. But really, I mean, you got to give props to the dollar. I mean, if you remember that strength meter we looked at, I mean, euro and pound are strong. But the dollar is the strongest currency right now. So on a pair like the Euro Aussie, this right here, just technical analysis 101, this is a bull flag pattern. If I've ever seen one. Comes down. It's a little overextended, but you know, it's a bullish pattern. There's rules. If you study Forex patterns, it depends on which site you study from, and there's different rules on what makes a flag or a pennant. Some have them pull down a certain percentage. Some say they can't pull down into previous structure support. But this is a bullish pattern. You could also count it as an Elliott wave with fractals inside of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ABC correction. Where do I think Euro Aussie is going to go right now? I think it's going higher. I'm not quite convinced enough to put a trade on myself, though. $47.10. Previous structure support going back to December 30th. the day before New Year's Eve, where my black line is here. And if we zoom it in, we're bouncing right off that level. So if you were to take a long on the Euro Aussie, the nice thing is you'd have a pretty controlled stop. I mean, you have to have your stops just a little below these swings, which are, 15, 20 pips below the 47.10 handle that we've been watching here from that long-term structure support. But I like it to the upside. I like Euro Aussie to the upside right here with the stops in right about here. And I think if you're going to take this thing for a ride to the upside, I think you got to have your targets up near the top. Maybe a little ahead of 49. Call it 49.90, 48.90, I'm sorry. About a 40 pip stop, 150 pip take profit. I think that's a decent trade. I'll put a little dab on here with you. Aussie can often catch a bid here during Asian session. That's the thing. That's the thing you always got to watch if you're new to trading. There it is. Look at that. The lines fill right in. So we got a pretty tight, 40 pips, 35, 40 pips. That's a pretty tight stop for Euro Aussie. And it's a huge reward to risk. We can even pull this profit down a little bit. So I'm going to let that run for now. We did have a nice pullback. See what fib we're at. You can sort of, once you've been trading for a while, you can get an idea roughly of where the fibs are. We're sitting right at the 38.2, which is why I wanted to see. We're right on the 38.2 right now. Could have my stops down just a little bit lower. Get this in to be a nicer swing trade here. So that's where I'm at. Long on Euro Aussie, long on silver, selling dollar yen. My stop on dollar yen is currently at 113.96. Entries 114.25 or so, up about 40 pips on that one. So here's the cool part. I didn't do a lot of trading today at all. I watched my charts, I watched the news, did my regular, Forex educational stuff. But really, I didn't do a lot of trading. This is stuff that I did yesterday, and I put on in a little extra silver trade. But between the dollar yen trade and the two silver trades, it's $1,314 right now. $1,314 profit. So don't make it too hard. You don't have to make this stuff too difficult. If the market's quiet, take it slow. We had the euro pound. That's right. We had the euro pound stop out in profit here. You probably remember this one. Where is it? Let me zoom in here. This is the hourly time frame. I was selling the euro pound this whole time, and I pushed my stops down, and we ended up taking 7-8 pips. What did that equal? $159.16 on a 1.5 lot. So that's what happened to the euro pound. Let's see here. Me and the Aussie are not friends right now. I hear you. I'm going to have to mute out my mic here, I think. DXY Head and Shoulders. Let's see. Where was that chat? Developing in the hourly. Let's see. Head and Shoulders, my favorite pattern. I really don't see the Head and Shoulders totally here. We got this spike here. Maybe there's a little Head and Shoulders in here. Head and Shoulders is probably my favorite pattern. You could call it that. Euro also, we covered that at least a little bit. Bring Stability says it's certainly trending with ability to go higher. That's right. Yeah, thanks, Nate. Let's cover UJ. Hey, Jason, do you think the UJ can hit 115 still? I still see bullish, but I want some experienced eyes to look at it. Yeah, Yo-Yo agrees on the DXY. I wouldn't mind the DXY coming down a little. Let's take a look at it. It's definitely an uptrend. There's no doubt. So let's zoom this in just a little bit here. Yeah. I'm going to leave this up and just open a new one. Since I got this one all drawn up here. Let's do a new, fresh new dollar yen for you. There we are. So if we look at the monthly time frame, I mean, when's the last time you look at the monthly time frame, right? Get an idea of what we have over here. Got this potential reversal candle. Hammer. Here's the weekly. Okay, get an idea of that. 3, 4 weekly candles that are positive in a row. Daily. First thing I want to look at is this sort of broken trend line here. Okay. Not exact, but you get the idea of what we broke. We look left, we see where we're at. I don't see a lot of resistance at 114.32. Next resistance is really coming up around 114.80, 115.50. So definitely feeling that the dollar yen could go up. Overall, obviously the trend is up here. My sell trade is based on the 1 hour divergence pattern. Price did not like it digging deeper on the hammer here. We went down to 113.45, rejected quickly. That was earlier this morning, I think around 9 o'clock or so. 10 hours ago, roughly 12 hours ago. 12 hours ago. So if we look at this just from a technical standpoint, let's just widen this out to the 30-minute. We're putting in lower highs. We're putting in lower lows. My target down here, which is quite a ways away, 113.27, 113.28, should be good if we put in lower lows one more time. If we proceed to move up and take out this level right here, 114, big psychological level, previous, it's 2 times back previous swing highs, then I think we're off to the races to the upside. All right, that's where I think dollar yen will go. But I'm hoping that it takes a little further dip south first. And you can see my stops. I moved them down pretty tight on purpose. I'd like to have them up around 114, put around 113.95-ish. I'm not willing to give back all this profit that I worked to gain. We already gave back enough here with this big spike while I wasn't in front of the charts. Again, on my other account, I took off half. I had two orders broken up in half, and one of them hit take profit. The other one is still running. And those were, that was at this level that I showed you all yesterday, the 113.61, which is basically the swing low that we put in here. We came down and touched it. One of my trades came off. The other one is still running. I manually put the stop down where this one is. So I got my head together on where I'm at with those. Oh, come on, dollar yen. There we go. And that's where it's at. So other than that, it's sort of choppy, isn't it? I mean, it's sort of not really squeaky clean. It's a hard call. Who knows? I mean, you don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. I think if we break above 114.01, 114.02, we're going to move up. If we stay below 114, especially below 113.95, we're going to push lower to new swing lows. And that is all I can tell you from that. I mean, it wouldn't be that shocking to see something like this come in, or something like this to come back in and then push up to new highs. So I tried to take advantage the best I could of what I was given and use my indicators, oscillators, moving average, convergence, divergence. Took a trade, making some pips, locked it in. Beautiful tail, just force news. Yeah, the WAN rate, I was reading about that. Yep. One parity. Right. You got it, Yo-Yo. You got it. Andrew and I are going to be on tomorrow morning as well. So we've been changing up the schedule here a little bit. Andrew will be doing the Forex London Open at 2 a.m. Central Time. And then him and I are going to be on together at 7:45 Central doing our joint stream. Sort of our weekly review preview. We talk about the week that we had. Talk about some of the trades we had that were good, some that weren't good. We review why, try to learn from it. Andrew, as you all know, is very good on fundamentals and getting deeper into what's going on in the world currencies. And then we look at the week ahead and what our plans are. If we are holding any trades over the weekend, which I don't do very often, but sometimes we do. I'm sure we'll touch on the G7 meetings. And then he'll come on again at noon Central and do the London Forex wrap. And that'll be the end of the live streams. I think Tony is coming on tomorrow morning, possibly as well. I'm not sure on that. I don't see him on the schedule yet. But I think he is. So I didn't touch much on the pound dollar because that obviously collapsed with the dovish BOE news yesterday overnight. We also had the dovish news from the New Zealand dollar, which plummeted the New Zealand down to 68.30 right now. New Zealand dollar is really getting beat up. If you look at the weekly here, I mean, we could push down a ways. Remember yesterday I was talking about which one's going to be weaker? You can flip a coin and pick if the New Zealand's going to be weaker or the Aussie. Well, clearly the New Zealand is the weaker of the two. I'm going to tuck this back down and pull up Aussie New Zealand. Aussie New Zealand, choppy for me. I mean, obviously we had this big, spike and breaking out to new highs. So yesterday I was debating taking this one short. I think it was right in this area as we were curling over. And on my other account, I almost clicked the button and I thought, you know what? After trading for over 10 years, the things that give you the best bang for your buck. And that would be basically a riskier trade for me, something that I can't reproduce and do over and over again, trading this type of a pattern here on these currencies. So I just left it out. Big figure here, 108,000, Aussie New Zealand. Kiwi. Euro pound, I'm staying away from. I still like it to the downside. I'm liking Euro pound shorts, but I'm not liking them enough to get in on my own. Dollar CAD, Euro CAD, I like to the upside. We covered crude a little bit in the beginning. So that's what I have. Long silver, long Euro Aussie, here. A little messy, but you can get the idea. And short dollar yen, but maybe not for long. You know, my stop, which will leave me with some nice profit, is coming up in about 10 or 11 pips from now. And then I'll have about 20, 30 pips, 29 pips profit. I have a feeling this stop is going to get hit, but that's okay. Sort of part of my my plan with divergence is to keep pulling down. The goal on this divergence trade, if I can shrink this down and pull it over here a little bit for you, is to get to the swing low. And the second target is the 161.8 Fibonacci extension, 113.19. So my other account, we got one trade off. We got the other one on. This trade, we have the whole thing still running with the stops locked in. And then as you might remember from this one we just talked about, we have this sort of mixed review on the dollar yen with the big figure 114.02-ish. If we break up, I think we're going to continue up higher up to 114.50, maybe even 114.80. And if we put in lower lows here around 113.73, I think we're going to put in fresh lows, hopefully down to my profit level about 113.27. So that's what I have, skipping all the fluff. There we go. Let's get rid of this one. Big USD news coming out, 7:30 a.m. That'll be about 15 minutes before Andrew and I come on. CPI, core CPI, U.S. retail sales, core retail sales. German preliminary GDP coming out about 1 a.m. Central Time. And then we have the G7 meetings. We talked about that a little bit last week. That's going on Friday and Saturday. And Andrew and I will touch on the news coming up next week. We do have Sunday news, just to give you a little heads up if you have trades over the weekend. New Zealand retail sales Sunday, 5:45 p.m. Central Time, and Chinese industrial production. The Chinese currency can be real tightly correlated with the Australian dollar, as is oil with the Canadian dollar. And of course, CAD is under pressure with oil. Crude's obviously bounced up a little, though. We talked about that earlier. Possibly could see it push up and pull back. We'll see if that plays out. Of course, we got the lumber tariff we talked about earlier in the last week or two. Let's see. Oh, Tony doesn't work Fridays. Okay, cool. Thanks, Nick. He likes to get drunk with his institutional trading mates on a Friday. That's funny. That's good. Do you come up at this time too? I don't know exactly what you mean on that. TKH IAMI. Do you come up at this time too? Crude making a jump, Seattle drama. Yeah, a little bit of a jump there. Hey Bernie, how's it going today? Yeah, there's not a lot of information here, Bernie. It's pretty quiet right now. Asian session is usually sort of notorious for being quiet. A lot of times we'll see activity a little more in the Australian currency and in the yen currencies during this Asian session. We're seeing the Australian dollar catching a little bit of a bid here at 73.81. Seeing the DXY push down a little bit. Maybe that sort of little mini head and shoulders will actually play out here on the DXY. Again, I really don't, this isn't a really clean head and shoulders pattern, but right in here. Sort of stretched out. But so far it's working, so good call on that. If the DXY falls, then euro dollar, pound dollar, Aussie dollar should rise. Dollar CAD should fall. Dollar yen could fall, come under pressure. what Andrew and I have been talking about earlier, I think it was in the month or last month, was how it was really interesting that the dollar was falling, but so was gold and silver. You know, generally speaking, not always, but generally speaking, when the dollar gets weaker, gold and silver are worth more. You know, that's why it's a cross. Silver versus the dollar. And you can also trade silver, gold versus the euro, or whatever else your broker allows. But for my silver long, I wouldn't mind seeing the dollar index come down a little bit. That'd be nice. Oh yeah, yesterday, Seattle drama. Yeah, Bernie, we're all still learning. Trust me. We're all still learning. And remember, if you haven't seen them, there's some great videos out there from everyone here at Forex Signals. I'm going to post a link here for you. Let's see. Andrew's got his videos here, but I like to put, where is it? I have mine bookmarked to share video library. There we go. So for those of you who haven't seen it, it's been out for a while, but this is the link for the video library that we put together this last year. It has videos from Nick, videos from Andrew, and from myself. I think there's hours and hours. I do a lot of videos on how to treat trading like a business and the psychology of trading and how to learn from your mistakes and that kind of thing, which I think is the most important part, really. So I'm going to leave it at that. Oh, I see. First time having a session. Thanks for the link. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, so at least in for the present, I'll be doing the live streams here for Asian session every day, 8 p.m. with the exception of Friday, because Andrew and I do the Friday morning joint streams. And these are all recorded as well. So you click on the upcoming tab that's right next to my face on the top left of the page. If you click on that tab, and then there's a little yellow button, if you toggle that, it'll show all the recordings that were out too. Or you can find them on our YouTube page right now as well. And don't forget about Andrew's video course, The Basics. If you click on the top left, right underneath where it says Trade Room, click on Forex The Basics, and he has some great videos there as well for the real sort of introductory stuff. Like what is a pip and how everything works. So really good information. And we have some more advanced videos as well, MACD, Elliott Wave type stuff. Cool. All right, I'm going to sign off for now. Get on with my evening. Hope you all have a great day and a great rest of the week. Andrew will be on for London Open, and then we'll be on again. Mark your calendars. You can also click Remind Me on the upcoming tab, and you'll get an email. I believe it's 15 minutes before the stream starts. We'll be on at 7:45 tomorrow morning. So have a great night, and I will see you then. Take care, and happy trading.